Hi, this is Uwa from Valap. Welcome to my channel, The Auction Spy. Now in this video, we're going to search upcoming auctions to find potential deals based on our investment strategies and goals. Now we'll search for properties where after we've done our numbers, we've discovered that the offer price that we have is potentially or should be higher than the guide price. Now based on that, we'd have an idea as to what strategy we can apply to that property if we purchase it for our offer price. Now we'd then wait for the auction and see how much the property sells for at auction. And then depending on what figure comes back from that sale, we'll try and work backwards to see what potential strategies the person who purchased the property could be applying. Now, different people would have different strategies for different properties, but the key thing is that you need to have your own strategy, have your own goals, have your own plans, have the specific points that you want to accomplish in your journey. Now, the whole point of doing all of this is for us to demonstrate the investment strategies, one, and how we apply them, different types of due diligence that we apply. We also demonstrate how we do our calculations and how we work out the numbers. And more importantly, demonstrate the tools that we use. And these tools are available to anybody. Now you just have to subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Now, I've got a subscription to EIG, and this tends to list all of the upcoming, or 97% of upcoming auctions. I've got no affiliation with EIG, I just have a subscription. I did an initial search for London and found this one, flat 6, Watford Way. Let's see what that's about. Okay, so the guide price is 285 pounds. Okay. Okay, it's a leasehold second floor flat. It's a 2-bedroom and has parking space as demonstrated here. It says this lot is subject to change. 150-year lease commencing 2007. So that's roughly 150 minus 13. That's 133, which is okay for mortgage purposes. Now let's go into the catalog entry and see what looks okay. Okay, let's see what the catalog says. This one's with Auction House London. Yeah, 138 years, really? That suggests it's less than that. So these are things that you need to work out when you're looking at these properties. So NW7 3JG. So what I'll do is I'll go to valap.io, which is a tool that I use for my calculations and log in, start an appraisal. This is one I've appraised before this video. Flat 6. Right, okay, so I've got auction, flat 6, that. Go there. So I had two different strategies for this property. One was just develop to sell. Now, for this one, let's see, it's come up red, which suggests that so I've got unit size of 61 square meters, it's all in square meters. Apartment, I've set a cost for works at 18,000. It looks okay, so it might not even be that high. Let's just make that 100, and that will come to 6,100. Maybe a bit too low. Let's make that 150. Yeah, that should be okay. So 9,000. Okay. Now with this price on sale, it would be. Let's see how much for that property. Okay, let's look at sold prices in the area. So the average sold price is 347. The auction is asking for 285. There's a good margin there. Got properties on the market currently for sale. Let's see. Ooh, it's a bit high. Okay, so there's a good range there between 400,000, between 300,000 and 571,000. So in this case, we know that this property could potentially sell quite well. We're not sure the condition of the property is currently on the market, if the range is 300 and 571. But we know based on the size of the flat, it's 347,000. We apply it, we save it. It then tells me that my offer price should be 261. How did it arrive at 261? The 261 figure is based on the GDV of 347, less duration of build, so whilst you're doing the works, and then 3 months for disposal. So after you've done work for a month, you then put it on the market for 3 months. The total duration is 4 months. So based on a finance rate of 6.5%, you then have over 4 months is 2.121%. Build costs 9,150. Contingency of that. Professional fees, whatever, different. You want to do another EPC, or you get someone to look at the ceiling or the roof and stuff like that. That just put in there. If you don't use it, then that adds to your profit. Disposal cost 3%. So that includes your legals for sale, marketing, the agent's fees, and that's it. Comes back to about 10,000. This secures your developer's profit at 34 grand from that. So if you want to make less profit, then that's up to you. So 10%. You might say for a 4-month project, 34 grand profit is okay. And then total cost 55,000. You deduct that from the GDV, you get something around 292,000, and you then factor in the cost for purchasing at 292 after you deducted stamp duty, finder's fees, if you got any estate agent fees and stuff to pay as part of the purchase. And obviously there'll be finance on this bit of the loan for 4 months, and then you end up with 261,000. So that's what it's saying your maximum offer should be. If there are any costs on here that you think you will not incur, then you can add that or deduct them, and you should. Okay. Now, in this case, it's saying to me if I did a refurb flip, it's potentially doable, but then it's less than the asking price. Okay. This one as green is for buy-to-let. Now let's look at what the buy-to-let is showing me. With the buy-to-let, the estimated open market value is 386. I've gone for a cash flow of £300 a month, which gives me a yield of about 5%. So you might say you want higher cash flow or lower yield or whatever. But what I've factored in here is 25% of deposit, of 35% of 360,000 for deposit, purchase cost at 5%. You could change that if you want. All these numbers are changeable. 2% for legal, for light refurb at £7,000. Monthly income. So this is the projected rent in the area. These figures come from what's on the market, so Zoopla and Rightmove. And your monthly mortgage is that. Management fees 10%, maintenance 5%, voids 5%. So you can change all of these if you want. Some people put 10% for voids and 5% for maintenance. Some put 10% for both maintenance and voids. Choice is yours. And then finance is a 4%. If you can get better finance, obviously that would make a difference. And then your returns. So we've got here £300 cash flow, which leads to £3,608 pounds annually, which is a 3% return on investment and a yield of 5%. Now that's incredibly low and tight. But if that is what you'd like, then yeah, by all means, you go for the auction. You can go up to 360,000 on 285%, 285,000 asking price. Okay, so if you say you want a return on investment of 10%, you can only go up to 232,000 as demonstrated here. If you say you want 20% return on investment, that's 153,000 pounds. Okay, but that gives you a cash flow of 819, which is quite chunky. So yeah, that is it for now. Let's see what happens in the auction. But my view is, if your investment goal is for, let's say you want £500 cash flow, you can change this here, £500, and your maximum offer will be 281. 281 is higher than the guide price. It's close. Okay, so £500 is what you want, which will give you a 6% return on investment, which is 6%, 6.4% yield. If that is what you are happy to get back, then by all means have this figure at the back of your mind, and let us see what happens at the auction. Now, if you're wondering how I got the size of the unit, there is something called the EPC register, which so NW7JG. Let's go to EPC register. I think, judging by how long these videos take, I should just do one property at a time. Reports. This was for flat 6. 'So this size is 86. According to the EPC. 61 is a standard build size for a 2-bed flat, so that's there. But if it's 81, this figure changes drastically. Here we're now saying, which then puts a different price on here. Build costs. We can just do that. And that is £8,000, 262. So still, yeah, this is where a lot of investors try to massage the figures to make them work. But this is clearly saying that my offer price should be 262 and that's it. And I should be disciplined enough to just stick to it. If we go back to our assumptions, is it still amber? It is still amber, and that one's amber as well. So that is interesting. Okay, so in this case, this is the maximum. These are the maximum figures we should offer in order to achieve what we want. So we want a £500 cash flow at a 4% mortgage rate. Our maximum offer is 281. So if we go to auction and they start the bidding at 260 or 250, 260, you go with them, you keep going until you get to 281, and then your maximum offer should be £500. Now, if we look at what's happening here, as I've explained earlier, so 281, 25% deposit is 25% of 281, that gives you 70 grand. 5% for purchase cost is 14,000. 2% for light refurb, 5,600. The flat looks okay, so you might not need to do much. And then monthly rent roughly is 1,503. Should we see if there's a, yeah, it's 1,503. When you deduct the mortgage from 1,503, oh no, the mortgage is 702 here. You've got management fee of 10%, mortgage maintenance 5%, voice 5%. So that's total expenses of 1,003. If you go into the finance, these are the finance figures. Returns, maybe I should move the because they're all in one place for the rent. Yeah. Okay. So in here, you then have your cash flow, and that's annualized here. Gives you a return on investment of 6.6% and a current yield of 6.4%. And that is it.